quiet stillness of a forest, there is a sense of time moving differently. The air feels softer, the light more patient, and the sounds, though subtle, carry a quiet richness. Forests cover vast portions of the Earth's land, forming some of the most intricate and layered ecosystems known. From towering rainforests to cool, temperate woodlands, each forest exists as a complex world of structure, rhythm, and life. A forest is not simply a collection of trees. It is a system built in layers, each one supporting the next. At the highest level stands the canopy, a continuous ceiling of leaves and branches formed by the crowns of mature trees. This canopy can rise dozens of meters above the ground, capturing the majority of sunlight before it ever reaches the forest floor. Beneath the canopy lies the understory, a shaded environment where smaller trees, shrubs, and young plants grow slowly in filtered light. The conditions here are calmer and dimmer, with leaves adapted to absorb what little sunlight passes through. Below this is the forest floor, often cool and damp, where fallen leaves, branches, and organic matter gradually break down into soil. In tropical rainforests, the canopy can be so dense that less than 2% of sunlight reaches the ground. As a result, life in the understory and forest floor evolves around limited light. Many plants develop broad, dark green leaves to capture as much energy as possible. Some grow slowly for years, waiting patiently for a gap in the canopy to open above them. These gaps can form when an old tree falls, whether from age, internal decay, or external forces like wind. The fall of a single large tree creates a sudden opening in the canopy. Sunlight pours down into the space, and the forest responds almost immediately. Seeds that have lain dormant begin to grow. Fast-growing plants race upward, competing for the new light. Over time, the gap closes again, and the layered structure is restored. The trees themselves are remarkable in both size and longevity. Some species can live for hundreds or even thousands of years. Their trunks record time in the form of growth rings, each ring representing a year of life. In temperate forests, these rings can vary in thickness depending on conditions, revealing periods of slower or faster growth. Tree height varies widely depending on species and location. In some forests, trees reach heights of over 80 meters. Their trunks rise straight and tall, with branches concentrated high above the ground. This growth pattern allows them to compete effectively for sunlight, which is the primary resource in a dense forest environment. The bark of a tree serves as protection, shielding the inner layers from physical damage, insects, and moisture loss. Beneath the bark lies the cambium, a thin layer of living tissue responsible for producing new growth. Inside this, the xylem transports water and minerals from the roots upward, while the phloem distributes sugars produced by the leaves. Roots extend outward and downward, anchoring the tree and absorbing water and nutrients from the soil. In many forests, roots form wide networks just below the surface. These networks can connect with those of other trees, creating vast underground systems. Through these connections, trees can share resources such as water and nutrients, supporting one another in subtle and complex ways. The soil of a forest is rich with organic matter. Fallen leaves, dead wood, and other material accumulate over time, forming a layer known as leaf litter. This material is gradually broken down by fungi, insects, and microorganisms. As decomposition occurs, nutrients are released back into the soil, where they can be absorbed by plant roots. Fungi play a particularly important role in this process. Many form symbiotic relationships with tree roots, extending their reach and improving nutrient absorption. These fungal networks can span large areas, linking multiple trees together. In exchange for nutrients, the fungi receive sugars produced by the trees through photosynthesis. Moisture is another defining feature of many forests. The dense vegetation helps retain humidity, while the shade reduces evaporation. In rainforests, frequent rainfall and high humidity create consistently moist conditions. In temperate forests, moisture levels can vary with the seasons, but the canopy still plays a key role in maintaining a stable environment below. The sounds of a forest are often gentle and layered. Leaves rustle softly in the wind, branches creak, and distant calls echo through the trees. Even in stillness, there is a quiet sense of activity. Small movements, subtle shifts, and the continuous processes of growth and decay all unfold without urgency. Light within a forest changes throughout the day. In the early morning, it filters through the canopy in soft beams, creating patterns on the ground. As the sun rises, the light becomes stronger, though still diffused by the leaves above. In the late afternoon, shadows lengthen, and the forest gradually returns to a dimmer state. Seasonal changes also shape the character of a forest. In temperate regions, leaves change color and fall during autumn, forming thick layers on the ground. In spring, new growth emerges, and the canopy gradually fills in again. Each season brings subtle shifts in light, temperature, and activity. Different types of forests exist around the world, each with its own distinct characteristics. Tropical rainforests are known for their high density and diversity, with multiple layers of vegetation and constant growth. Temperate forests experience more variation, with clear seasonal cycles. Boreal forests, found in colder regions, are dominated by coniferous trees, adapted to long winters. Despite these differences, all forests share certain fundamental structures and processes. They are systems of balance, where growth, decay, and renewal occur continuously. Every leaf that falls, every branch that breaks, and every seed that sprouts contributes to the ongoing life of the forest. Time in a forest is measured not in moments, but in cycles. The growth of a tree, the formation of soil, and the shifting of light through the canopy all unfold gradually. There is no single beginning or end, only a continuous process of change. As you move deeper into the forest, the outside world begins to fade. The air becomes cooler, the light softer, and the sense of space more enclosed. The canopy above forms a natural ceiling, while the layers below create a quiet, sheltered environment. In this space, everything is connected. The trees, the soil, the fungi, and the air all interact in ways that are both visible and unseen. Each part supports the others. forming a system that is stable, resilient, and quietly complex. And in this stillness, the forest continues its slow and steady rhythm, unchanged by urgency and guided only by time. Across the surface of the earth, forests take on many forms, shaped by patterns of temperature, rainfall, altitude, and soil. Each type of forest carries its own structure, rhythm, and quiet identity. Though all forests share common elements, the differences between them create a wide range of environments, each with its own pace and character. Tropical rainforests are among the most dense and layered of all forest types. Found near the equator, they exist in regions where temperatures remain warm throughout the year and rainfall is frequent. These forests are known for their thick canopies, which often form multiple layers stacked above one another. The uppermost layer, sometimes called the emergent layer, consists of the tallest trees rising above the rest, reaching toward open sunlight. Below this, the main canopy forms a continuous cover, absorbing most of the incoming light. The understory beneath is shaded and humid, with plants adapted to low light conditions. The forest floor is often dim, with patches of light appearing only where small gaps allow sunlight to pass through. Rainforests are home to an extraordinary variety of plant forms. Trees often grow tall and straight, with smooth bark and few lower branches. Many species develop wide, flat roots near the surface, known as buttress roots, which help stabilize them in shallow soils. Vines, known as lianas, climb upward along tree trunks, using them as support to reach sunlight. Epiphytes are another common feature of these forests. These are plants that grow on the surfaces of trees without taking nutrients from them. Instead, they gather moisture and nutrients from the air and surrounding debris. Mosses, ferns, and certain flowering plants often grow in this way, forming small gardens high in the canopy. In contrast to tropical rainforests, temperate forests exist in regions where the climate changes with the seasons. These forests experience warm summers and cooler winters, leading to cycles of growth and rest. Many trees in temperate forests are deciduous, meaning they shed their leaves during colder months. During autumn, the leaves of these trees change color before falling to the ground. This process reduces water loss and prepares the tree for the colder season. The fallen leaves create a thick layer on the forest floor, which gradually breaks down and enriches the soil. In spring, new leaves emerge, and the canopy slowly fills in again. Light reaches the forest floor more easily during early spring, allowing certain plants to grow and bloom before the canopy becomes dense. These plants complete much of their life cycle in a short period, taking advantage of the temporary increase in light. Temperate forests also include evergreen species, which retain their leaves throughout the year. These trees often have needle-like leaves coated with a waxy layer, helping them conserve water and withstand colder conditions. The presence of both deciduous and evergreen trees creates a varied structure within the forest. Further north, boreal forests stretch across vast regions characterized by long winters and short growing seasons. These forests are dominated by coniferous trees such as pines, spruces, and firs. Their needle-like leaves reduce water loss and allow them to survive in colder climates. The shape of these trees is often tall and narrow, with branches sloping downward. This design helps shed snow, preventing accumulation that could otherwise break branches. The forest floor in boreal regions is often covered with mosses and lichens, which can thrive in low temperatures and limited sunlight. Soils in boreal forests tend to be more acidic and less rich in nutrients compared to those in tropical or temperate forests. Decomposition occurs more slowly in colder conditions, leading to a gradual buildup of organic material. Despite this, these forests cover enormous areas and play a significant role in the overall structure of Earth's landscapes. In drier regions, forests become more open and less dense. Dry forests and woodlands experience lower levels of rainfall, which influences the spacing and type of vegetation. Trees in these areas are often shorter and more widely spaced, allowing sunlight to reach the ground more easily. Leaves in dry forests are often smaller or thicker, reducing water loss. Some trees shed their leaves during dry periods rather than cold seasons, conserving moisture until conditions improve. The forest floor in these regions may support grasses and low shrubs, creating a more open appearance compared to denser forests. Montane forests grow in mountainous regions, where altitude plays a key role in shaping conditions. As elevation increases, temperatures decrease, and the types of vegetation change accordingly. Lower slopes may support dense forests, while higher elevations transition into shorter, more compact tree forms. Cloud forests are a unique type of montane forest found in areas where persistent cloud cover surrounds the vegetation. These forests are often rich in moisture, with leaves and branches frequently coated in mist. Mosses and epiphytes thrive in these conditions, covering tree trunks and branches in soft layers. Mangrove forests develop along coastal regions where land meets the sea. These forests are adapted to conditions where the soil is saturated with salt water. Mangrove trees have specialized root systems that extend above the water, allowing them to access oxygen in waterlogged environments. These roots often form intricate networks, stabilizing the shoreline and trapping sediments. The trees themselves can tolerate high salinity, a condition that most plants cannot endure. The structure of mangrove forests creates sheltered areas that support a wide range of life. Across all these forest types, certain patterns remain consistent. Light is captured by leaves, water is drawn from the soil, and nutrients cycle through the system. The balance between growth and decay continues uninterrupted, shaping the forest over time. Each forest type responds to its environment in ways that are both subtle and profound. The height of trees, the density of the canopy, and the composition of the soil all reflect the conditions in which the forest exists. These characteristics are not fixed, but continuously influenced by internal processes and external factors. Movement within a forest is often gradual. Seeds disperse, roots expand, and branches grow slowly outward. Over long periods, the structure of a forest can shift, though these changes may be difficult to notice in the moment. What appears still is, in reality, always in motion. Water moves through forests in quiet cycles. Rainfall is intercepted by leaves, drips to lower layers, and eventually reaches the ground. Some of this water is absorbed by roots, while the rest may flow slowly through the soil. In dense forests, much of the water is retained within the system, contributing to the overall stability of the environment. Air within a forest is often cooler and more humid than in open areas. The canopy provides shade, while the vegetation releases moisture into the air. This creates a microclimate that differs from the surrounding landscape, offering a more stable and sheltered environment. The diversity of forest types reflects the adaptability of life to different conditions. From the dense, layered structure of rainforests to the open spacing of dry woodlands, each forest represents a balance between available resources and the forms of life that depend on them. As the earth turns and seasons shift, these forests continue their quiet processes. Growth follows rest, light follows shadow, and the steady rhythm of the forest remains unbroken. Beneath the towering trees and the shifting canopy above, the forest floor rests in quiet shadow. It is a place where light arrives gently, filtered through layers of leaves, softened as it reaches the ground. At first glance, the forest floor may seem still, even silent. But within this shaded layer, a constant and intricate process unfolds, one that supports the entire forest above. The surface of the forest floor is often covered in a layer of fallen leaves, small branches, bark fragments, and other organic material. This layer, known as leaf litter, forms gradually over time. Each season adds to it, as trees shed leaves, twigs fall, and plants complete their cycles. The material settles into a soft, uneven blanket that cushions the ground. This layer is not simply debris. It is the beginning of transformation. Within it, countless organisms work slowly and continuously, breaking down organic matter into simpler forms. This process of decomposition is essential, returning nutrients to the soil where they can be used again. Fungi are among the most important contributors to this process. Often hidden from view, they extend through the soil and leaf litter in fine, thread-like structures. These structures, called hyphae, form vast networks that spread across the forest floor. Some fungi appear above the surface as mushrooms, their fruiting bodies rising briefly before fading again. Fungi have the ability to break down complex materials, such as wood and leaves. They release enzymes that dissolve these materials, allowing nutrients to be absorbed. In doing so, they transform what has fallen into forms that can once again support life. In many forests, fungi form close associations with tree roots. These relationships allow trees to access nutrients more efficiently. The fungal networks extend beyond the reach of the roots themselves, gathering minerals and water from the surrounding soil. In exchange, the trees provide sugars produced in their leaves. This connection creates an underground network that links individual trees together. Through this network, resources can be shared. A tree in one area may transfer nutrients to another in need, though the process remains subtle and gradual. The forest, in this sense, is not a collection of separate individuals, but a connected system. Insects and other small organisms also play a role in the breakdown of organic matter. Beetles, ants, and various larvae move through the leaf litter, feeding on decaying material. As they do, they break it into smaller pieces, increasing the surface area available for fungi and microorganisms to continue the process. Earthworms contribute by moving through the soil, creating small tunnels that improve its structure. As they feed on organic material, they produce castings that are rich in nutrients. These castings help enrich the soil, making it more suitable for plant growth. The soil itself is a complex mixture of minerals, organic matter, air, and water. Its structure can vary depending on the type of forest and the materials present. In some forests, the soil is deep and rich, supporting rapid growth. In others, it may be thinner, with nutrients cycling more quickly through the system. Moisture plays a key role in the activity of the forest floor. In damp conditions, decomposition occurs more rapidly as fungi and microorganisms thrive. In drier conditions, the process slows and organic material may accumulate more gradually. Temperature also influences these processes. Warmer conditions generally increase the rate of decomposition, while cooler temperatures slow it down. Despite these variations, the cycle of breakdown and renewal continues steadily, maintaining the balance of the forest. The forest floor is also home to a variety of plants adapted to low light conditions. Mosses form soft, green carpets across rocks and soil, retaining moisture and providing a stable surface. Ferns grow in clusters, their fronds unfolding slowly as they reach for filtered light. Some plants grow only in the brief periods when light is more available. In temperate forests, early spring brings a window of opportunity before the canopy fully develops. During this time, certain plants emerge, flower, and complete their life cycles quickly. Seeds that fall to the forest floor may remain dormant for extended periods. They wait for the right conditions, which may include sufficient light, moisture, and temperature. When a gap opens in the canopy, allowing sunlight to reach the ground, these seeds can begin to grow. Fallen trees, once part of the canopy, become important structures on the forest floor. As they decay, they provide both nutrients and habitat. These logs, sometimes called nurse logs, support new plant growth. Seeds that land on them may find a favorable environment, raised slightly above the ground and rich in decomposing material. Over time, the log softens and breaks apart, eventually becoming part of the soil. In this way, even the largest trees return to the forest floor, contributing to the ongoing cycle. The roots of living trees also occupy this space, spreading outward beneath the surface. In many forests, roots are concentrated in the upper layers of soil, where nutrients are most abundant. These roots intertwine with those of other trees, forming a dense and interconnected network. Water moves through this layer in quiet pathways. Rain that reaches the ground is absorbed by the soil, where it may be taken up by roots or continue downward. Some water remains within the upper layers, contributing to the moist conditions that support decomposition. Air is present within the soil as well, filling small spaces between particles. This allows roots and microorganisms to carry out essential processes. The balance of air and water within the soil influences its overall health and function. Despite its quiet appearance, the forest floor is constantly changing. Materials are added, broken down, and transformed. New growth emerges, while older structures fade. These changes occur slowly, often unnoticed, but they are continuous. The colors of the forest floor reflect its composition. Browns, deep greens, and muted tones blend together, creating a soft and natural palette. Occasional bursts of color appear in the form of fungi or new plant growth, adding subtle variation. Sound within this layer is often minimal. A soft rustle may occur as small organisms move through the leaf litter, or as a leaf shifts under its own weight. In damp conditions, even these sounds are subdued, absorbed by the soft surface. Light, when it reaches the forest floor, creates patterns that shift throughout the day. Small openings in the canopy allow beams of sunlight to pass through, illuminating patches of ground before moving on. These brief moments of light can influence growth, providing energy to plants below. Over long periods, the processes of the forest floor shape the structure of the forest itself. The soil that forms supports new trees, while the nutrients released from decomposition sustain ongoing growth. Without this layer, the forest above could not exist. Everything that falls eventually becomes part of this system. Leaves, branches, and entire trees return to the ground, where they are gradually transformed. In this way, the forest maintains itself, continuously recycling its own materials. There is a quiet completeness to this cycle. Nothing is wasted, and nothing remains unchanged. The forest floor, though often overlooked, is central to the life of the forest. It is here that endings become beginnings, and where the slow work of renewal continues without interruption. As the canopy shifts above and the seasons pass, the forest floor remains steady in its purpose. It receives, transforms, and supports, and in its quiet, shaded stillness, it holds the foundation of the entire forest. Within a forest, water and light move in quiet patterns, shaping every layer of the environment. They arrive gently, shift slowly, and fade without urgency. Together, they guide the rhythm of the forest, influencing how it grows, rests, and renews itself over time. Light enters the forest from above, filtered through the canopy in shifting layers. As sunlight reaches the uppermost leaves, much of it is absorbed. The leaves convert this light into energy, supporting growth and sustaining the tree. What remains continues downward, passing through branches and smaller leaves, becoming softer and more diffuse with each layer. By the time light reaches the forest floor, it often appears in fragments. Thin beams slip through small openings, illuminating patches of ground before drifting away as the angle of the sun changes. These patterns are never still. They move slowly across the forest, marking the passage of time in quiet, subtle ways. In the early morning, the light is low and gentle. It enters at an angle, creating long shadows that stretch between the trees. Moisture in the air catches the light, forming visible beams that drift through the forest. This is often the calmest time, when the forest feels especially still. As the day progresses, the light becomes brighter, though it remains softened by the canopy. Leaves above sway slightly, shifting the patterns below. The forest never receives light in a single, unbroken form. Instead, it is scattered and layered, creating a constant interplay between brightness and shadow. In the late afternoon, the light begins to fade again. Shadows lengthen, and the forest gradually returns to a dimmer state. The canopy above takes on deeper tones, and the forest floor becomes quieter as the day settles. Water moves through the forest in equally gentle ways. Rainfall often begins as a soft sound against the leaves above. Each drop is intercepted by the canopy, where it may rest briefly before continuing downward. Some water evaporates back into the air, while the rest travels through the layers of vegetation. As water passes through branches and leaves, it gathers into droplets. These droplets fall slowly, sometimes pausing on lower leaves before reaching the ground. The process spreads the impact of rainfall over time, preventing sudden changes to the forest floor. When water finally reaches the ground, it begins to move through the soil. Some is absorbed by roots, providing the moisture needed for growth. The rest may flow gently along the surface or seep deeper into the earth, joining underground pathways. In many forests, small streams form where water collects and moves through natural channels. These streams are often clear and slow-moving, shaped by the contours of the land. Stones, fallen branches and roots guide the flow, creating soft, continuous sounds. The presence of water helps maintain a stable environment within the forest. Moisture in the air reduces dryness, while the soil retains water for extended periods. This creates conditions that support a wide range of plant life, particularly in areas where rainfall is frequent. Fog and mist are also common in certain forests, especially those with high humidity. These forms of moisture drift slowly through the trees, settling on leaves and branches. They add to the overall water cycle, providing an additional source of hydration for plants. Light and water are closely connected in their influence on the forest. The amount of light available affects how water is used by plants. In areas with more light, growth may be faster, increasing the demand for moisture. In shaded areas, growth is slower and water is used more gradually. The canopy plays a central role in regulating both light and water. It acts as a filter, controlling how much of each reaches the layers below. This regulation creates a stable environment, protecting the forest floor from sudden changes. Wind also interacts with light and water, though often in subtle ways. A gentle breeze may shift leaves, altering the patterns of light below. It can also move moisture through the forest, carrying scents and cool air across the landscape. Temperature within a forest is influenced by these combined elements. The shade provided by the canopy keeps the air cooler during the day, while moisture helps maintain a consistent level of humidity. At night, the forest retains warmth more effectively than open areas, reducing temperature fluctuations. Seasonal changes bring variations in both light and water. In temperate forests, the angle of sunlight shifts throughout the year, altering how light enters the canopy. During certain seasons, rainfall may increase or decrease, influencing the availability of water. In some periods, the forest becomes brighter as leaves emerge or fall. In others, it becomes darker and more enclosed. These changes occur gradually, creating a slow and continuous transformation of the environment. Despite these variations, the overall rhythm of the forest remains steady. Light arrives each day, moves across the landscape, and fades again. Water cycles through the system, falling, flowing, and returning to the air. these cycles are not separate, but deeply interconnected. A change in one often influences the other. Increased moisture may affect how light is perceived, while shifts in light can influence how water is used within the forest. The forest responds to these patterns without urgency. Growth adjusts to available resources, and processes continue at a pace that remains consistent over time. There are no sudden changes, only gradual shifts that shape the forest in quiet ways. Within this environment, stability is created through balance. The canopy moderates extremes. The soil retains moisture, and the layers of vegetation distribute light evenly. Together, these elements form a system that is both resilient and calm. The experience of being within a forest is shaped by these subtle interactions. The softness of the light, the presence of moisture in the air, and the gentle movement of water all contribute to a sense of quiet continuity. Even when unseen, these processes continue. Beneath the surface, water moves through the soil. Above, light filters through leaves. Around them, the air carries moisture and warmth in balanced measure. Over time, these elements shape the forest in lasting ways. They influence the growth of trees, the structure of the canopy, and the composition of the soil. Each day adds to the ongoing pattern, building upon what came before. The rhythm of the forest is not marked by sudden events, but by repetition and continuity. Light returns each morning, water cycles through the system, and the forest responds in steady, measured ways. In this rhythm, there is a sense of calm. Nothing is rushed, and nothing is forced. The forest exists within a balance that allows it to sustain itself over long periods. As the day fades and the light softens once more, the forest returns to quiet shadow. Moisture lingers in the air, and the gentle processes continue without interruption. And within this steady flow of light and water, the forest maintains its quiet, enduring presence. At the center of every forest stands the tree, a living structure shaped by time, environment, and steady growth. Trees define the form of a forest, rising upward toward light while extending downward into the soil. Their presence creates the canopy, supports countless processes, and provides the framework upon which the forest is built. A tree begins as a seed, often small and easily overlooked. Within that seed lies the potential for a structure that may grow for centuries. When conditions are suitable, the seed absorbs moisture and begins to expand. A root emerges first, anchoring the young plant into the soil. Soon after, a shoot rises upward, reaching toward available light. In its early stages, a tree grows slowly. The balance between root development and upward growth is essential. Roots must establish a stable foundation, allowing the tree to access water and nutrients. Without this support, growth above the ground cannot continue effectively. As the tree matures, its structure becomes more complex. The trunk forms as a central support, composed of multiple layers, each with a specific function. The outermost layer, the bark, serves as protection. It shields the inner tissues from physical damage, temperature changes, and moisture loss. Beneath the bark lies the cambium, a thin layer of living cells responsible for growth. The cambium produces new cells that become part of the tree's internal structure. Over time, this process increases the diameter of the trunk, allowing the tree to grow wider as well as taller. Inside the cambium is the xylem, which transports water and dissolved minerals from the roots to the leaves. This movement occurs through a network of tubes that extend throughout the tree. Water is drawn upward through these tubes, reaching even the highest branches. Alongside the xylem is the phloem, which carries sugars produced by the leaves to other parts of the tree. These sugars provide energy for growth and maintenance. The movement of these substances within the tree creates a continuous internal flow, connecting roots, trunk, branches, and leaves. As a tree grows, it forms annual rings within its trunk. Each ring represents a period of growth, often corresponding to a year. The thickness of these rings can vary, reflecting the conditions experienced during that time. Wider rings may indicate favorable conditions, while narrower rings suggest slower growth. The height of a tree is influenced by both its species and its environment. In dense forests, competition for light encourages trees to grow tall and straight. Lower branches may be shed over time as they receive less light. This results in trunks that rise high before branching outward. Branches extend from the trunk, supporting leaves that capture sunlight. The arrangement of these branches varies among species, creating different shapes and patterns within the canopy. Leaves themselves are designed to maximize exposure to light while minimizing water loss. In many forests, trees develop wide root systems that spread near the surface. These roots absorb water and nutrients from the upper layers of soil, where organic material is most abundant. Some roots extend deeper, providing additional stability and access to moisture. Roots also interact with the surrounding environment in complex ways. They may grow around obstacles, follow paths of least resistance, and adjust their direction based on available resources. In crowded forests, roots often intertwine with those of neighboring trees, forming dense networks below the ground. The longevity of trees varies widely. Some species live for a few decades, while others can survive for hundreds or even thousands of years. Over such long periods, trees experience gradual changes in structure. Branches may fall, bark may thicken, and growth patterns may shift. Despite their age, many trees continue to grow throughout their lives. Growth may slow over time, but it rarely stops entirely. Each year adds new layers, contributing to the overall structure of the tree. The outer appearance of a tree reflects its history. Scars may mark where branches once grew, or where external forces caused damage. Variations in bark texture and color can indicate age, species, and environmental conditions. Leaves play a central role in the life of a tree. Through their surfaces, light is captured and converted into energy. The structure of leaves varies depending on the environment. In some forests, leaves are broad and thin, allowing for efficient light capture. In others, they are narrow and coated, reducing water loss. Seasonal changes influence how trees use their leaves. In certain forests, leaves are shed during periods when conditions are less favorable. This reduces the demand for water and energy. When conditions improve, new leaves emerge, and the cycle continues. Trees also produce seeds, ensuring the continuation of their species. These seeds are often dispersed by wind, water, or other natural processes. Some fall close to the parent tree, while others travel farther before settling. The distribution of seeds influences the structure and density of the forest over time. The strength of a tree lies not only in its size, but in its design. The arrangement of fibers within the wood provides both flexibility and support. This allows trees to withstand forces such as wind, adjusting slightly rather than breaking. Water movement within a tree is influenced by both internal and external factors. As water evaporates from the leaves, it creates a pull that draws more water upward from the roots. This process continues throughout the day, linking the tree to its environment. Nutrients absorbed by the roots are distributed throughout the tree, supporting growth in all areas. The balance of these nutrients affects the health and development of the tree. In rich soils, growth may be more vigorous, while in poorer soils, it may proceed more slowly. Over time, trees contribute to the structure of the forest in lasting ways. Their fallen leaves enrich the soil, their roots stabilize the ground, and their presence shapes the distribution of light and water. Even after a tree falls, it continues to play a role, becoming part of the forest floor. The spacing of trees within a forest influences how they grow. In dense areas, competition for light leads to taller, narrower forms. In more open spaces, trees may develop wider crowns, with branches extending outward. The interaction between trees creates a dynamic environment. Each tree affects those around it, whether through shading, root competition, or shared resources. These interactions shape the overall pattern of the forest. Growth within a tree is not uniform. Different parts may develop at different rates, depending on conditions. Branches exposed to more light may grow faster, while those in shade may slow or stop. This uneven growth contributes to the unique shape of each tree. The passage of time is recorded within the structure of a tree. Layers build upon one another, forming a record of growth that spans years or centuries. This quiet accumulation reflects the steady pace at which trees develop. In the stillness of the forest, trees stand as enduring structures. They grow slowly, respond to their environment, and persist through changing conditions. Their presence defines the landscape, creating the canopy and shaping the layers below. Each tree exists as both an individual and part of a larger system. Its roots connect to the soil, its leaves interact with light, and its structure supports life in many forms. Through these connections, trees sustain the forest and contribute to its continuity. As time passes, the forest changes, but the presence of trees remains constant. They rise, grow, and eventually return to the ground, becoming part of the cycle once more. And in their steady growth, trees embody the quiet persistence of the forest itself. In a forest, sound does not arrive all at once. It unfolds gradually, in layers so soft they are often felt before they are fully heard. There is no single voice that defines the forest. Instead, it is a quiet collection of movements, each contributing to a continuous and gentle presence. At first, the forest may seem silent, but as attention settles, subtle sounds begin to emerge. A faint rustle of leaves, a distant shift of branches, the nearly inaudible movement of air passing through the canopy. These sounds are not sharp or sudden. They are soft, steady, and deeply woven into the environment. Wind is one of the primary sources of sound within a forest. Even the lightest breeze can set leaves into motion. As they move, they brush against one another, creating a soft, whispering sound. The intensity of this sound depends on the strength of the wind and the density of the foliage. In taller trees, wind travels through the upper branches first. The canopy responds with a gentle sway, and the sound spreads downward in waves. Lower branches may move more slowly, creating a layered effect where different parts of the forest respond at different times. The structure of leaves influences the sound they produce. Broad leaves tend to create a fuller, softer rustling, while narrower leaves may produce lighter, more delicate tones. When moisture is present, the sound becomes more muted, as damp surfaces reduce friction. Branches also contribute to the acoustic texture of the forest. As they shift, they may creak softly, especially in older trees, where the wood has become more rigid. These sounds are slow and measured, often spaced far apart. On the forest floor, sound is absorbed rather than reflected. The layer of leaf litter and organic material acts as a natural cushion, softening footsteps and dampening vibrations. Movement across this surface produces a muted, textured sound that blends into the surrounding quiet. Water introduces another dimension to the soundscape. In areas where streams or small flows are present, the sound of moving water becomes a steady background. It is not constant in tone, but varies gently as water passes over stones, around roots, and through small channels. The speed of the water affects its sound. Slow-moving water produces soft, continuous tones, while slightly faster movement creates subtle variations. These sounds remain consistent, forming a quiet rhythm that persists throughout the day. Rainfall adds a layered complexity to forest sounds. When rain begins, it is often first heard as a faint tapping on the canopy above. Each drop makes contact with leaves, branches, and other surfaces, creating a scattered pattern of sound. As the rain continues, water accumulates and begins to fall through the layers of the forest. Drops gather on leaves before falling to lower levels, creating a series of gentle impacts. The sound is not uniform, but varied, with each surface producing a slightly different tone. On the forest floor, rain is softened by the layer of organic material. The impact is absorbed, creating a subdued and calming effect. Over time, the sound of rain blends into the overall atmosphere, becoming part of the forest's steady rhythm. In periods without wind or rain, the forest can become exceptionally still. During these times, even the smallest sounds are noticeable. A single leaf falling, a slight shift in the soil, or the quiet settling of branches can be heard with clarity. This stillness is not empty. It is a state in which the forest rests, allowing its ongoing processes to continue without interruption. Growth, decomposition, and internal movement persist, even when external sounds are minimal. Temperature changes can also influence sound. As the air cools, materials within the forest may contract slightly, leading to faint creaks or shifts. These sounds are subtle and infrequent, but they contribute to the overall sense of quiet activity. Light and sound are often connected in their presence. In the early morning, when light is soft and low, the forest tends to be quieter. As the day progresses, slight increases in movement can bring additional layers of sound. In the evening, as light fades, the forest gradually returns to a more subdued state. Fog and mist can alter the way sound travels. Moist air tends to carry sound differently, often softening its edges. In these conditions, sounds may seem closer, more contained within the forest space. The density of vegetation also affects acoustics. In thicker forests, sound is absorbed and scattered, reducing its range. In more open areas, it may travel slightly farther, though still within a limited distance. The forest does not produce sudden or overwhelming noise. Instead, it maintains a consistent level of quiet activity. This consistency allows the listener to relax, as there are no sharp interruptions or unexpected changes. Movement within the forest is often slow and deliberate. Leaves shift gradually, branches sway gently, and water flows at a steady pace. These movements create sounds that are equally gradual, reinforcing the sense of calm. Over time, the ear becomes attuned to these patterns. What once seemed like silence reveals itself as a rich and continuous presence. Each sound, though small on its own, contributes to the overall atmosphere. The absence of sharp noise allows other senses to become more aware. The texture of the air, the quality of the light, and the subtle shifts in temperature all become more noticeable in the quiet. In this environment, time feels extended. Moments are not marked by sudden events, but by gradual changes. The forest does not demand attention, but gently holds it, inviting a slower pace of observation. Even in complete stillness, the forest is never truly silent. There is always a faint presence, a background of subtle movement that continues without pause. This quiet continuity is one of the defining characteristics of a forest. As the day transitions into evening, the sounds soften further. The wind may settle, the movement of water becomes more subdued, and the overall atmosphere grows calmer. Shadows deepen, and the forest returns to a state of near stillness. Throughout the night, the same patterns continue, though often at an even quieter level. The forest remains active in its own way, maintaining the steady processes that define it. By morning, the cycle begins again. Light returns, air begins to move, and the gentle sounds of the forest re-emerge. The rhythm remains consistent, guided by natural patterns that repeat over time. In this balance of sound and silence, the forest creates an environment that is both stable and deeply calming. Nothing is forced, and nothing is abrupt. Each element moves in harmony with the others, forming a continuous and quiet presence. And within this gentle soundscape, the forest remains as it always is, steady, patient, and quietly alive. Within a forest, change does not arrive suddenly. It unfolds slowly, often so gradually that it is almost unnoticeable from one moment to the next. Yet over time, these changes shape the entire character of the forest. The passing of seasons, the shifting of light and the quiet adjustment of growth create a continuous transformation that defines the forest's rhythm. In regions where seasons are distinct, the forest moves through a repeating cycle each year. This cycle is guided by variations in light and temperature, which influence how trees and plants respond over time. Spring begins with a gradual return of light. As days lengthen, the angle of the sun changes, allowing more sunlight to reach the forest. The ground, which may have been still for an extended period, begins to warm. Moisture in the soil supports new growth, and small plants emerge from the forest floor. During this time, the canopy above is not yet fully formed. Light passes more easily through the branches, reaching the ground in greater amounts. This creates a brief window of opportunity for plants that rely on early light. They grow quickly, using the available energy before the canopy closes once more. Trees begin to produce new leaves, unfolding them slowly as conditions improve. These leaves are often lighter in color at first, gradually deepening as they mature. The forest takes on a softer, more open appearance during this period, with light moving more freely through the space. As spring transitions into summer, the canopy becomes denser. Leaves expand fully, forming a continuous layer that filters sunlight. The forest grows more shaded, and the light that reaches the lower levels becomes softer and more diffused. Summer is a period of steady growth. Trees continue to extend their branches, and roots expand within the soil. The forest maintains a consistent structure during this time, with little visible change from day to day. Moisture levels may vary, but the canopy helps retain humidity, creating a stable environment. The air within the forest often feels cooler than in open areas, due to the shade provided by the leaves. Light patterns shift gradually as the sun moves across the sky, but the overall atmosphere remains calm and balanced. As the year progresses, subtle changes begin to appear. The angle of the sunlight shifts again, and the intensity of light decreases slightly. Leaves, which have been active for many months, begin to change in color. Autumn arrives quietly, bringing a gradual transformation. Leaves shift from deep greens to a range of softer tones, including gold, amber, and muted reds. This change does not occur all at once, but spreads slowly across the forest. Eventually, leaves begin to fall. One by one, they detach from their branches and drift downward. The movement is gentle, guided by gravity and the slightest currents of air. Over time, the forest floor becomes covered in a new layer of leaf litter. As leaves fall, the canopy becomes less dense. More light reaches the forest floor again, though the overall intensity of sunlight continues to decrease as the season advances. The forest takes on a more open and spacious appearance. The process of leaf fall also prepares the trees for the coming season. By shedding their leaves, trees reduce the demand for water and energy. This allows them to endure periods when conditions are less favorable. Winter brings a quieter phase. In some forests, temperatures drop and growth slows significantly. The absence of leaves creates a more open structure, allowing light to pass through more freely. The forest floor may receive more direct sunlight during this time, though the overall energy available remains low. In colder regions, snow may cover the ground, adding a layer of stillness. The shapes of trees become more defined without the presence of leaves. Branches, trunks, and the underlying structure of the forest are more visible. Despite the reduced activity, the forest does not become inactive. Processes continue at a slower pace. Roots remain within the soil, maintaining their connections, and internal systems within trees continue to function. Over time, the cycle begins again. Light gradually increases, temperatures rise, and new growth emerges. The forest responds to these changes in the same steady manner, repeating patterns that have continued for countless cycles. Not all forests experience these changes in the same way. In tropical regions, seasonal variation may be less pronounced. Instead of distinct periods of growth and rest, these forests maintain a more continuous cycle. Leaves may fall and grow throughout the year, rather than all at once. In drier forests, changes may be guided more by the availability of moisture than by temperature. Periods of reduced rainfall may lead to leaf shedding, followed by renewed growth when conditions improve. In mountainous regions, elevation influences seasonal patterns. Higher areas may experience longer periods of cold, while lower areas transition more quickly between phases. The forest adapts to these variations, creating a range of conditions within a relatively small area. Across all forest types, change remains gradual. There are no abrupt transitions, only steady shifts that unfold over time. Each stage prepares the forest for the next, maintaining a continuous flow. The passage of seasons also affects the structure of the forest floor. New layers of organic material are added during certain times, while decomposition continues at varying rates depending on conditions. This ongoing process contributes to the stability of the soil. Light patterns shift not only within a single day, but across the entire year. The position of the sun changes, altering how light enters the canopy. These changes influence where and how plants grow, shaping the arrangement of the forest. Water availability may also vary with the seasons. Some periods bring increased moisture, while others are drier. The forest adjusts to these changes, maintaining balance through its structure and processes. Over longer periods, the cumulative effect of seasonal change shapes the forest in lasting ways. Trees grow taller, the canopy shifts, and the composition of the forest evolves gradually. These changes are not immediate, but they are continuous. The forest does not resist change. Instead, it moves with it, adjusting slowly and steadily. Each season is part of a larger cycle, one that repeats while also allowing for subtle variations over time. In this rhythm, there is a sense of continuity. The forest remains recognizable, even as it changes. Light returns, leaves grow and fall, and the quiet processes continue. Standing within a forest across different seasons reveals this gradual transformation. What appears constant at first begins to show variation. The same space takes on different qualities, shaped by light, color, and structure. Yet through all of these changes, the forest maintains its identity. It remains a place of balance, where growth and rest are part of a continuous cycle. And as each season passes into the next, the forest continues its slow and steady transformation, guided by patterns that repeat without end. In certain parts of the world, forests exist that have remained undisturbed for long stretches of time. These are often referred to as ancient forests, places where the passage of years is written into every surface. The trees here are not only tall, but old, having grown slowly across centuries. Their presence gives the forest a sense of depth that extends far beyond what can be seen. Time in an ancient forest is not measured in days or seasons, but in gradual accumulation. Each layer of growth builds upon what came before, creating a landscape shaped by continuity rather than sudden change. The forest floor holds the remains of past generations, while living trees continue to rise above them. The trees in these forests often reach great sizes, their trunks thick and textured with age. Bark may be deeply ridged or layered, reflecting years of exposure to the elements. Branches extend outward in complex patterns, shaped by long periods of growth and adjustment. Some trees grow slowly but steadily over hundreds of years. Their height increases gradually, while their trunks widen with each passing cycle of growth. Over time, these trees become central structures within the forest, influencing the distribution of light and space around them. The canopy in an ancient forest is often uneven, with trees of varying heights creating a layered and irregular surface. Gaps appear where older trees have fallen, allowing light to reach the forest floor. These openings support new growth, ensuring that the forest continues to renew itself. Fallen trees are a defining feature of ancient forests. When a large tree reaches the end of its life, it does not simply disappear. Instead, it becomes part of the forest floor, gradually breaking down over time. These fallen trunks, often covered in moss and other plant life, can remain visible for many years. As a fallen tree decays, it provides nutrients to the surrounding soil. It also creates a stable surface for new plants to grow. Seeds that land on these logs may find favorable conditions, leading to the growth of new trees that rise from the remains of the old. This process creates a continuous cycle where one generation supports the next. The forest is not defined by individual trees, but by the ongoing relationship between growth and decay. Each stage contributes to the overall structure, maintaining balance over long periods. The soil in ancient forests is often deep and rich, formed from layers of organic material that have accumulated over time. This soil supports a wide range of plant life, from small ground cover to towering trees. Its composition reflects the history of the forest, containing traces of what has come before. Roots in these forests form extensive networks beneath the surface. They spread outward and downward, connecting with the soil and with each other. In older forests, these networks can become highly complex, supporting the stability of large trees and facilitating the movement of resources. The atmosphere within an ancient forest is often calm and stable. The dense structure of vegetation reduces sudden changes in temperature and light. Moisture is retained within the system, creating conditions that support continuous growth. Light in these forests is often softer and more varied. The uneven canopy allows beams of sunlight to reach the ground in shifting patterns. These patches of light move slowly throughout the day, highlighting different areas as time passes. The presence of long-lived trees influences the overall pace of the forest. Growth is steady but not rapid, and changes occur gradually. This creates an environment where continuity is more apparent than transformation. Ancient forests often contain trees at different stages of life. Young trees grow in the spaces created by older ones, while mature trees continue to expand. This mixture of ages adds to the complexity of the forest, ensuring that it remains dynamic even over long periods. The structure of these forests is shaped by natural processes rather than uniform patterns. Trees grow where conditions allow, creating an arrangement that appears irregular but balanced. This natural variation contributes to the resilience of the forest. Over time, external forces such as wind or the natural aging of trees may alter the structure of the forest. A large tree may fall, creating a gap in the canopy. This event, while significant, is part of the ongoing cycle. The forest responds by filling the space with new growth. The remains of older trees continue to influence the forest long after they have fallen. Their wood decomposes slowly, releasing nutrients back into the soil. This process supports new growth, maintaining the continuity of the system. In ancient forests, there is a sense of accumulation. Layers of growth, decay, and renewal overlap, creating a landscape that reflects both the past and the present. Each element is part of a larger pattern that extends across time. The stability of these forests allows for the development of intricate relationships between different components. Trees, soil, and other elements interact in ways that are both subtle and enduring. These interactions contribute to the overall balance of the forest. Walking through an ancient forest often reveals a variety of textures. The rough surface of bark, the softness of moss, and the uneven ground all reflect the long history of the environment. Each step passes over layers that have formed over many years. Sound in these forests tends to be subdued, shaped by the density of vegetation and the presence of soft surfaces. Movement is gentle, and the overall atmosphere remains calm. This quiet environment reflects the slow pace at which the forest changes. The passage of time in an ancient forest is visible in its structure. Large trees stand as records of long growth, while fallen logs mark earlier stages. New growth emerges in spaces created by these changes, continuing the cycle. This continuity gives the forest a sense of persistence. While individual trees may come and go, the forest itself remains. Its identity is maintained through the ongoing processes that sustain it. The interaction between old and new is constant. Younger trees grow in the presence of older ones, while older trees contribute to the conditions that support new growth. This relationship ensures that the forest continues to exist across generations. Light, water, and soil all play roles in shaping the passage of time within the forest. They influence how trees grow, how materials break down, and how the structure evolves. These elements work together, maintaining a balance that allows the forest to persist. Over centuries, the forest may change in subtle ways. The arrangement of trees may shift, the canopy may adjust, and the composition of the soil may evolve. These changes are gradual, unfolding over periods that extend beyond immediate observation. In this way, ancient forests represent continuity rather than stillness. They are always changing, but in ways that are slow and steady. This creates an environment that feels stable, even as it evolves. As time continues to pass, the forest remains rooted in its processes. Growth follows decay, and new structures emerge from what has come before. Each moment contributes to a pattern that extends far into the past and continues into the future. And within this quiet passage of time, the ancient forest endures, shaped by cycles that move slowly, yet never cease. A forest is not defined by any single tree, nor by any one layer within it. It exists as a continuous system, shaped by countless interactions that unfold quietly over time. Each part contributes to the whole, and the whole supports each part in return. This balance is not fixed, but maintained through constant adjustment. From the highest leaves in the canopy to the deepest roots beneath the soil, every level of the forest is connected. Light, water, and nutrients move through these layers, linking them together in a steady flow. What begins in one place often continues in another, forming cycles that repeat without interruption. The canopy captures light and shapes how it is distributed below. This influences the growth of plants in the understory, which in turn affects the conditions of the forest floor. The soil supports the roots of trees, while also storing water and nutrients that are drawn upward again. Nothing within the forest exists in isolation. Each tree interacts with its surroundings, responding to the availability of light, water, and space. As trees grow, they alter these conditions, influencing the environment for other plants. The forest floor receives what falls from above. Leaves, branches, and organic material accumulate over time, forming the basis for new growth. Through gradual processes, this material is broken down and returned to the soil, where it becomes available once more. Water cycles through the forest in quiet pathways. It falls from above, moves through leaves and branches, and settles into the ground. Some is absorbed by roots, while some continues through the soil, eventually returning to the air. Air moves gently through the forest, carrying moisture and maintaining balance within the environment. The presence of vegetation influences how air flows, slowing it and creating a more stable atmosphere. The structure of the forest allows it to regulate itself. The canopy reduces extremes of light and temperature, while the soil retains moisture and nutrients. These features create conditions that remain relatively consistent, even as external factors change. Growth within the forest is guided by availability. Where light reaches the ground, new plants may emerge. Where space opens, trees may expand. These adjustments occur gradually, maintaining a balance between different elements. Over time, the forest adapts to its own changes. A fallen tree creates an opening, allowing light to reach the ground. New growth responds to this change, eventually filling the space. The structure of the forest shifts, but the overall system remains intact. The relationships within the forest are both visible and unseen. Roots extend beneath the surface, connecting trees and interacting with the soil. Fungi form networks that support nutrient exchange. These hidden connections are as important as those above the ground. The movement of nutrients is continuous, Elements taken from the soil are used by plants, then return through the process of decomposition. This cycle ensures that resources remain available within the system. The forest does not require external input to sustain itself over short periods. Its internal processes maintain balance, allowing it to continue through cycles of growth and renewal. This self-sustaining quality is one of its defining features. Time within the forest is experienced as continuity rather than sequence. There is no clear beginning or end, only an ongoing process that extends across years, decades, and centuries. Each moment builds upon the last, contributing to the overall pattern. The visual structure of the forest reflects this continuity. Layers overlap, creating depth and variation. Light moves through these layers, revealing different aspects at different times. The forest is never static, but always in quiet motion. Paths through the forest often wind rather than follow straight lines. This reflects the natural arrangement of trees and terrain, shaped by gradual growth rather than deliberate design. Moving along these paths reveals new perspectives, each one slightly different from the last. The edges of the forest blend into surrounding environments. There is no sharp boundary, only a gradual transition. This allows the forest to connect with other landscapes, extending its influence beyond its immediate area. Within the forest, patterns repeat at different scales. The structure of a single tree reflects the structure of the forest as a whole. Branches extend like roots, and leaves form layers similar to the canopy. These repeating patterns create a sense of unity throughout the system. Stability in the forest is not the absence of change, but the result of balanced change. Growth, decay, and renewal occur continuously, maintaining the overall structure. Each process supports the others, creating a system that endures over time. Even disturbances become part of this balance. A change in one area may lead to adjustments elsewhere, allowing the forest to reorganize itself. These responses are gradual, unfolding in ways that maintain continuity. The presence of moisture, light, and soil ensures that the forest remains active. These elements move through the system, supporting life at every level. Their interaction creates the conditions necessary for ongoing growth. As the forest continues through its cycles, it retains a sense of calm persistence. Nothing within it is hurried. Each process unfolds at its own pace, guided by conditions rather than urgency. Standing within a forest, it becomes clear that it is more than a collection of parts. It is a continuous system, shaped by relationships that extend across space and time. Every element contributes, and every element is supported in return. The forest does not seek to change quickly. It moves slowly, adjusting to conditions in ways that are steady and measured. This slow pace allows it to remain stable, even as it evolves. Light returns each day, water continues its quiet movement, and the soil supports new growth. These cycles repeat, forming the foundation of the forest's existence. Through them, the forest maintains its balance. In this way, the forest exists as a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Each layer, each process, and each connection contributes to a system that continues without interruption. As time passes, the forest remains. Trees grow, fall, and return to the soil. New growth emerges, and the structure adjusts. The pattern continues, steady and unbroken. And within this continuous system, the forest endures, quiet